Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students of class 9. Today we are taking second period of biology and the chapter number 1 is Introduction to Biology. What we will study today, biological method and history of biology. In history we will study Greek period and Muslim biologists. So let's start. What is biological method? How can we define biological method? The scientific approach used to resolve a biological problem related to or produced by a living organism is called biological method. It means the biological problem is created by or related to animals, plants or human beings. What we have to do or what a biologist have to do, he want to solve that problem. So he will apply biological method. What are the steps? First, he will observe the problem. What is the problem? And try to find out the cause of the problem. Then he will give his statement that will be called hypothesis. Then, related to the hypothesis, some predictions are given. That will be called deduction. To check hypothesis and deduction, experiment will be done. Practical will be done. That is called experiment. And the result of the experiment is called result. And then on the basis of result, theory or law will be given. So let's start the first step, observation. Observation, the biologist recalls his previous observations or makes new ones. Observations are made with 5 senses of vision, hearing, smell, taste and touch. To solve a specific biological problem, observations are made to collect relevant information. For example, look at the problem. The problem was malaria is the greatest killer disease of man for centuries. Now, what observation made to solve this problem? In 1878, a French physician, Leverrier, studied the blood sample of malaria patients under microscope and observed tiny creatures in it that was not present in healthy people's blood. That creatures were later named as plasmodium. That was the observation to solve the problem of malaria. Now, the same scientist, after observing plasmodium, he gave his statement. Plasmodium is the cause of malaria. This statement is called hypothesis. So how can you define hypothesis? It is the intelligent guess in the form of a statement to explain observation. Deduction. Deduction is basically also a kind of a statement that is giving a prediction about the hypothesis. The logical explanation of a hypothesis is called deduction. For example, to test above hypothesis, following deduction was made. If plasmodium is the cause of malaria, then all the patients suffering from malaria should have plasmodium in their blood, while healthy people should not have. That was the prediction. That is called deduction. Now experiment will be done to test prediction and also hypothesis. Experiment is done to test each deduction, prediction practically to find out whether or not the hypothesis is correct. Scientist shows his skills as an experimenter. He performs 2 types of tests. Control group, experimental group. Control group means group of healthy people. They know there should not be any kind of plasmodium in the people that are healthy. Means control group. And experimental group, group of malaria patients. If plasmodium is the cause of malaria, so all malaria patients, what they should have in their blood? Plasmodium. So what they did? They test control group and experimental group both. He examined the blood of about 100 healthy and 100 malaria patients and then gives out the result. The result verifies the deduction and finally the hypothesis. For example, plasmodium is the cause of malaria. This will be the result.